Hey. Today we're going to talk about the review and the prospects of the retail REITs that have just reported results. You saw FCT numbers, you saw MCT numbers, you saw SPH REIT numbers, you saw Lendlease numbers. So what does it mean if you have retail REITs in your portfolio, right? So this is something we're going to delve in depth, in today's video, as well as actually in our class on the 13th November. So if you like it, as usual, like and smash. So, ladies and gentlemen, on next Saturday, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, as well as the ugly in S-REITs. So, if we're holding on to retail REITs, essentially, what is the outlook? All right. So, essentially, this is and has been the case where the retail REITs have reported. These are the share prices at the end of last month. That is just last Friday. And you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that based on our recommendation just a year ago for all the retail REITs, man, they have actually soared by between 14% to as much as 43%. That is actually for Lendlease. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, in last year's class, when we actually recommended Lendlease because they were sold off very badly, we told you that, hey, the 313 closure, being a single owner asset, may not be as bad. And essentially, the share price that was hammered down from its IPO price at 93 cents back down to 50 cents was really a good steal. And henceforth, what happened? You see the recovery in the share prices. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The same case for Sahil Global REIT as well as Maplefleet Commercial REIT, So essentially, for example, just recently before the tightening measures, we caught up with Mr. Kelvin Chow. Yes, the handsome gentleman there is Mr. Kelvin Chow. He's the CEO of Lendlease REIT, where we actually had a close discussion. In fact, it was almost a 3-hour discussion. That's me, my sister, and our good friend Joyce, as well as my lovely wife, Carmen. You notice that essentially those REITs that we have, whole close to our hearts, we check on them very constantly, every quarterly, in fact, before we present them in our class to you, so that you are updated on the best information on the REIT. If you look at the next one, what do you see? Gosh, you can see that this is SPH REIT. Yes, the share price crashed through $1 this week, simply because of the potential takeover of SPH price being uplifted. But essentially, is this a warning sign? When we look at the rental deposits for its various properties, man, they are down. Now, how bad? How long? And will it continue, or will there be a reversal? This is something that we're going to help in detail on our 13th November class. So do join us, and as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the worst performing retail REIT is actually Frasers Centrepoint Trust. And you notice that based on the latest annual report under Frasers Centrepoint Trust, yes, that's myself, Gabriel Yap Chong Hin. I still hold close to 2 million shares, and I actually am top 16 shareholder. But you know what? As mentioned in my book, that is actually to make your millions in REITs. I've devoted chapter 9 to talk about how do I and how you therefore as well can make at least $1 million on REITs. And I did it just on Frasers Centrepoint Trust, which I think you can also do so. So in our class, essentially, I want to share, why that in our class, we have advocated that when they did the acquisition of the ARF portfolio, that means including Hougang Mall, as well as actually the Central Tiong Bahru Plaza, we were pessimistic. In fact, when the share price shot up at that time in our classes, we have shared that at 260 something, we were selling out. But you know what? And we did tell our students, investors, not to buy the placement or the preferential at 235 and 234. And see what happened, ladies and gentlemen. The share price actually fell down close to 220, which was then a great buy opportunity, which we basically were trading in. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can see then after that, from October last year up to now, yes, almost 1 year, ladies and gentlemen, it has underperformed. In fact, it was the bulk of the time hovering near the placement price, and wow, you may think, right, hey, placement is 4, the smart money, isn't it? But how come the smart money, get stuck for almost a year? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, do join our classes so that you can be smarter than the smart money, so that you will not be stuck in a rut. In fact, the share price is only stuck to move up to 242 just last week. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, one of the key things that we talk about in my book on chapter 9, is not to fall in love with a REIT. You may think that, wow, Gabriel, I thought you have been FCT major shareholder since its IPO for the last 16 years, the bulk of the time. But you know what? In my book on page 162, one of the key things that we teach you and tell you and we continue to advocate in our class is, one, never fall in love with a REIT. If I may, let me just read this out to you. REIT investors often fall in love with a REIT, but in GCP Global, we have always advised our student investors to fall in love with their girlfriends or boyfriends better before they tie the knot. And guess what? After marriage, what you should do is to learn to fall in love with your spouse again and again so that you can enjoy eternal bliss, just as like you're dating. But you know what? Love can and indeed be sweet, but this does not apply to REITs. So, ladies and gentlemen, what other stocks to fall in love with or fall out of love with? Do join us our class when we go through in detail on 13 November. Do sign up for the early bird special here. And again, see you in next week's video. Cheers!